I'm sick of being special.
Cut. Will, tilt down. Greg and Joe, take a look at this. Your job as a director is to tell a story. The challenge of directing a film is to make the audience feel like they're in the story and not pay attention to any of these things that all this work goes into. And cut. Check the gate on that. Your only job is to make sure that everybody is sharing the same vision, so that when the movie's cut together, it looks like one seamless film that doesn't draw attention to any of those things and just tells you the story and makes you laugh or makes you feel something.
I'm sick and tired of being special.
Cut. You good, Will?
Yeah.
Cut.
Right? It's John and Greg are over here. I'm waiting for Will to come out.
I wrote Elf as a spec in 1996. Thought it'd be very amusing to see a large elf walking around Manhattan, and it just kind of bounced around for many years. When you're writing a script, you just kind of have to let your imagination take you there, take you where the story goes.
He's not Santa! He's a fake!
Make it the best story you can, the tightest story you can, and wherever it goes, these are very smart people. They can do whatever you think of.
What in the name of Sam Hill?
It came from David Berenbaum's imagination, first and foremost. It always starts with the writer. And then he, with John Berg, my producing partner, developed it over a period of time, over a couple of years.
Developing a script is developing the story and the characters and making sure that a film has 3 acts. An initial act where you set up your characters and you set up your situation.
I hear you're going on a little journey to the big city.
A final act where everything is concluded.
My son, I love you.
You want the characters to have arcs and to evolve. That's kind of development.
Once we got it to Will, he was excited right away and we were off and running.
Look at you!
Pre-production could last several months before you actually start rolling film. Part of the planning process for a movie like this, where it's very visual and there are a lot of stunts and a lot of special effects, is you draw storyboards. Of course, the storyboards are a framework that we deviate from a great deal, but it at least gives people an idea of how many people are going to be in a scene, the types of locations we have to find for the scene, and what they have to build for the scene, so that when you actually get to the set, everything's been pre-planned and all comes together. And then you hire people like your cinematographer, the sound men, the cameramen, and everybody has to work together so that you have one cohesive vision. This is great. This is the shot, and then we'll get another one that gives it a context.
Yeah.
When you actually get close to the time of filming, there are executives at the studio that are involved early on. There are producers who are involved.
Wow, can we come home with me? I bridge the gap between the creative producers and the money managing producers. Basically, I'm here to make sure that Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau have everything they need to make this very, very funny movie.
Basically, my job is crew, budgets, answering questions, and dealing with problems. I'm the mother.
She also helps make sure that we are running on schedule, on budget, making sure all the unions are taken care of. She silently makes sure we're doing our job.
As a director, you're constantly being reminded if you're running behind in the schedule. Generally, you're given a certain amount of days. In the case of Elf, it's about 55 days. And you have to know how many scenes you could shoot in that time. And you have to plan pretty meticulously how many scenes you could do in a day.
All right, here we go. Let's try a rehearsal, everyone. Ready?
You start off taking the script and breaking it down scene by scene and into all its various elements. Then you take all that information and you make a schedule out of it. I stay on the floor the entire day right beside the director, running things. Figure out, the blocking of the scene with the director, bring everybody in, show them what the blocking is.
You, sir, come up to this spot.
Discuss the shots for the day, decide on the best order to shoot the shots.
We'll be moving over to the forced perspective shot on the big set, and the B camera will be setting up the first piece of coverage here with Santa and Buddy.
And then we start with the first shot.
And action!
We just work our way through the day, sort of shot by shot, scene by scene, until eventually the film's all over.
Got it.
Unfortunately, Mondays are bad for most people, but for me they tend to be particularly bad because usually we start at about 7 in the morning, the whole crew, but usually I have to get here around 5 in the morning just to make sure that all the trucks are here, all of them are working, and everybody's kind of here and organized.
I'd say a typical day is anywhere between 15 and 17 for us. My job is to primarily work the floor with Jim help set the background, spread information throughout the set, take care of the cast and make sure they have all their stuff and keep them informed as to what we're doing throughout the day. One guy didn't show up and they were looking for a slightly balding guy with a little bit of hair on the back, so I got pulled in. I just happened to match the character.
I need more batati.
I take care of the cast. That's my main job. I check them in when they get here. I make sure they left the hotel okay, that they arrive on set, make sure they get their breakfast, and then we figure out what costume they need for the day, get them through hair, makeup, and send them to set when they're ready. This here is a circus, all the trucks and things that make up the outer perimeter of the film set, hair, makeup, wardrobe, producers' trailers, and cast trailers. Hi, I'm here with my friend.
Yes.
And we know that it's the green costume for Snowball Alley now.
And are we up and ready?
In a few minutes,
Okay.
I'll come back and let you know.
Okay, great.
Will's always on time, he's the best.
On set, we're responsible for preparing the site, whether it's in studio or on location.
Sorry, man. Need to be on the outside of the curtains.
Getting rooms ready for extras or things like that.
You can have both.
I can?
Some of you have to have.
Because I'm special.
Because you're special? Well,
we get together.
I'm a pushover.
Kind of the worker bees of the set.
I'm on the bell. It's a lot of pressure. It's a really annoying one. It goes, sounds like a car alarm, kind of like, woo, 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 woo. So it bugs everybody, but everybody hears it. We can call cut. And it kind of sounds like the penalty bell. So everybody knows to drop the work. You don't have anybody with a walkie-talkie.
Are you sure you don't have my walkie-talkie? Are you sure you don't have my size?
Come on, guys, lock it up.
Makeup and hair goes through hundreds of people in the course of a day. There's been a lot of extras to 200 people. There's stunt doubles, there's photo doubles, there's Santa doubles, there's James Caan doubles. There's all sorts of things that we have to duplicate for stunts or for second units. Here you are in our trailer on a typical elf morning. We have 4 makeup ladies, and we are doing elf ears. So this is a little gelatin piece that we glue to the ear, and then we paint, and it becomes lifelike, and on camera it looks like all these people really have ears.
We work with the director on coming up with the designs and the look of the show. Hopefully it's all going well.
It's going really well.
Oh, hello. Well, Nicholas's hair was colored last week when he had to match somebody who was older. Is that hurting? Okay, just let it sit there for a second. A lot of them have had sort of textured hair, and it's been zigzagged up and down at the front in the fringe area, so it's not too symmetric. They like them tilted back slightly. Apparently it makes them look even shorter, and I don't know how that works, but it's a perspective thing, so that's what they tell us. So we angle them back slightly and keep our fingers crossed that they stay on. So is that comfy now, Nicholas? Okay, then you can go. Thank you. All right.
Wardrobe. Let's let Ed relax. Let's take off some of his raiments.
My film and costume experience really came from being on the job. Studying art in school helped me very much to learn how to speak in visual terms. Anybody that you see walking around with clothes in that movie, I'm responsible for putting them on their backs. Whether it be the people in New York City who just look like regular people, or the elves in the North Pole who hopefully look like pretty cool elves. Buddy really sticks out like a sore thumb. So when we were designing his costume, we were very careful to choose a color that felt very elfin and that stood out in the whole New York panoramic. The elf shoes we had to construct in such a manner that he could be running around the streets of New York in the middle of the winter time and still be comfortable.
One of the hang-ups is I have to get in and out of this every time. So if I want to go to the bathroom, for instance, I have to take everything off, unclip my suspenders. If you can tell, it has these little clasps, and they're pretty intricate in that it's pretty hard to, I can't quite get them.
You have to have a pretty strong plan of how you're going to cover each scene. They call it covering a scene. What shots you're going to need to combine and cut together to make a sequence play. And of course, the more shots, the more time it takes to light and shoot. You have to have some shot where the door gets open, otherwise you just find them in the crane shot that we shot the other day.
You know what? It could be open from the outside looking back in.
And you might be able to avoid the whole thing and do the whole thing here.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you know, you have this would work just fine, really.
And we just jump cut from him saying goodbye to Papa, off the hug to Papa into the door opening. I think that could work. Different shots make you feel different ways. When you have a close-up of somebody and that person is sad, you're emotionally going to react to him more than if it was a far-away shot of a lot of people and the one little person in there is sad.
No!
You have to learn as a director how to best tell the story.
Film camera, this is a video camera.
Greg Gardner is an amazing DP. He had worked with special effects, with visual effects, with CGI, and movies in a huge grand scale. He wasn't daunted by anything that we threw at him.
There's the director of the main movie, and then all the photographic elements, there's a director of that too. And I'm the director of photography, the cinematographer. Well, it was more the idea that would you use this?
Show me this close-up
What
on
we've
the
got
dude.
right here.
Show me the close-up.
That we have to drive in for, because we would still do 75s, but we still have to drive in and pull. I would think, you want to make them clean, right? We'll pull Will back a little bit. I did study art through like all the grade school levels and high school. This is what artists end up doing, art people. The deer are passing over, it's true. The direct photography is 3 departments. There's the grip department, the lighting department, and the camera department.
What I do is operate the camera, whether you have to pan the camera left or pan the camera right or tilt. There's all kinds of different ways to move the camera. We've got the gear head with the little wheels. That's my job to actually do the physical operating of the shot once it's lined up.
14, Frank, take 3. Margaret.
I start with setting marks for the actors so they come to the same position each time, for lighting and for camera position and so on.
Margaret.
Nice slate, George.
And this is for identification purposes for the editors. Also load film, take care of the amount of footage that we shoot each day.
Whenever you see the camera moving, then that's what I do. I move the camera with the camera operator on there and the camera.
And action.
When you're moving the dolly, you just have to feel it. Like your body, you can't go like this as you're walking. You have to feel your steps so your body takes up the absorption. That's what makes it nice and smooth. This right here is dolly track, and the camera will roll on the dolly down the track and allow the shot to move. So it looks like Buddy's walking, so it feels like the camera is Buddy.
I'm in charge of camera motion. The camera has to move with the actors. I'll set up a little railway so the camera can follow the action smoothly. If they have to remove walls, I will help with that. Sort of on-set engineer, on-set handyman, shall we say. And I'm also in charge of creating shadows. That is, you can put light onto a subject, but you can also take light off. And I do that with little flags and things that are assembled in stands.
The lighting department places all the lights. We have enough lights here to power a small town.
Some people are too shy to be interviewed for this, like our gaffer. Actually, he's probably just too busy because he is always making sure that the lighting is correct. The DP and he work very closely together to make sure that we get this excellent strobing effect, for instance, all are gaffered.
Important thing in my job is to make sure that everybody is intelligible, that we can hear exactly what they're saying, and that we're not bothered by the clutter of everything else that's occurring around here in the movie studio. Making sure that that doesn't distract from what they're doing visually and what complements the image. The image goes onto film, and the sound goes onto a tape. When they say roll,
Roll, please. Sound speed.
I roll sound, camera will roll.
And roll, please.
And what happens to synchronize the two is we'll see somebody clap something.
21 kilo, take 3. Margaret.
We need some point of reference, and that reference is a clapper. As long as they're both happening consistently in time,
21 break, take 1. Margaret.
we can reliably assume that the rest will occur in time too.
You know what? You could take over. I need to learn the soundman ways.
I hold a pole with a microphone on the end of it, not unlike this one.
Basically, I try to point the mic at what the camera is seeing. If there's sound effects or something like that, I'll be pointing it at that, but the primary purpose of it is to get the dialogue. My arms used to get tired, but now it's more a question of losing the blood in my arms. It's uncomfortable.
What I am is stunt buddy, which is Mr. Ferrell's stunt double. You run and you bang into walls and you hit hard things. And that's what I do because we can't afford to have the actor getting hurt. Started crashing and falling from the time I was 6 years old and worked my way up. That's where I got my practice, just playing a lot of sports.
You know that's not really me, right? Have you been thinking this is Will Ferrell the whole time?
You get to work with guys like that all day long. It's quite fun.
When you say we got coverage on, we shot that with Bob.
Yes, we did. We got a single on Bob for this.
Good.
What I do is keep track of what the actors say and do, and try and make sure they do it the same way each time, so that when the editor gets the pieces, it all cuts together. What you seem to be doing now is physically turning your whole body, rather than your head, which you seem to do in the coverage when we were shooting from over here.
It's really helpful for me because you shoot it from one angle and it looks one way, and then you shoot another angle the next day. I can't remember where everybody is. Jess, what's the narration under this thing?
But as much as Buddy was accepted by his friends and family, there were a few drawbacks to being a human in an elves world.
So script supervisor, one of their important jobs is not just to keep track of everything we shoot and every angle, but to make sure that each shot will cut together. So now we're watching playback.
What do you mean? I record everything we do on a computer so that we can find any shot in the movie whenever we need to find it. Very handy when you're bouncing from Manhattan to the North Pole, to one set to a large set, small set.
How was that last one?
That was good. Print. When you like a take, you print it so that you get to watch it printed on film, and then you look at it in dailies and make sure that it's as good as you thought it was.
And action.
Well, I'll miss you, buddy.
They're screening the dailies in there. They get developed overnight, and then we screen them on a big screen to make sure that the focus is good and everything technical works, and that the performance are as good as we thought that they were. If not, we're still at the set, so we always have the opportunity to pick up a shot.
And if you see a sign for a peep show, that doesn't mean they're letting you look at presents before Christmas.
So at lunch, we all eat in there, and we all watch the previous day's work.
And if you see a sign for a peep show, that doesn't mean they're letting you look at presents before Christmas.
The biggest job of being a director is dealing with the actors, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is the performance that's on the screen.
A lot of suction.
When you pick a location, you try to create opportunities for those actors in their performance and try to give them a place where they could be very creative, especially a guy like Will, who's a very funny guy and very improvisational. He makes things up on the spot.
It's very sucky.
I like to have things built for him that he could play with, because the funniest stuff is usually the stuff that you find on the day.
It tickles. It's okay, it tickles. It's very sucky. You should try it. It
Sucky.
tickles. It's sucky. And it tickles. It sickles.
It's important to be able to create a little bit of quiet and a little bit of stillness for people to be creative and never to let the actors feel the pressure of the production. Let's just run through the dialogue.
Okay, let's get it quiet, everybody.
In most of the movies I've worked on, the directors usually encourage some form of improvisation. And I think comedy lends itself to trying new ideas and doing something that's not necessarily written on the page.
We're best friends. We're tight. I don't know if I'd say tight.
No, we gotta make it more buddy, but...
John will sometimes go, let's just do one more and do anything you want. So I'll come up with different lines, I'll improvise, use a prop in a way that I didn't use it before. I try to make it different every time, just to, once again, provide another choice.
It took a very long... Ooh! Wow! It's very suctioning.
The key to a Christmas movie is the story and the message and the theme.
Treat every day like Christmas.
On the one hand, I wanted to get big laughs, but on the other hand, I wanted to make a movie that had the potential to be a classic that would show every year.
Maybe he just needs a little Christmas spirit.
When you watch the movie, you shouldn't be aware of any of this. The trick is to never let the shots, the sets, the special effects, or any of that take you out of the story. Good.
Totally blushing. He loves it.
I love it. Do you want people to laugh? You want them to be scared? You want them to cry?
I'll always be here for you.
And I wanted Buddy to be a warm character that developed over the course of the film, and to be somebody that people liked and somebody that you felt for as you went through all of these trials.
What?
Yes.
It's the Golden Globes calling, John.
He's turned in a great performance, and I think that I'll be able to put something really nice together in the editing room.
I'll make a minute.